my name is Simbiat, right? Simbi for short. No need for yeah. Like I'm from Nigeria. That's right. So um, spent like 3 years, just roughly about 3 years, in this cybersecurity career path. So basically, just a very brief overview about myself. I hold a bachelor's degree, which is my undergraduate in computer science, specialty in cybersecurity. Then I worked as a cyber analyst in a security operations center. Then also, as part of my part-time job, I blog about cybersecurity. Actually, I did it for fun, really. Doesn't come out of it. Yeah. So also I had operations NoGoFallMaga. So basically, what NoGoFallMaga does is create awareness to the locals. So I mean, we are all some of us actually in schools. We have techies, but we have like the underserved, which are like the market women, the people that are by the roadside, but they have this mobile and internet. So we create awareness to them in a very fun way, using stories, videos, jokes, just create awareness. I've also worked as a cybersecurity consultant. Currently, I work as an information security officer for a top financial institution in Nigeria. Yes, it's legit. So yeah, that's that for that. So today, talking about protecting your digital identity. So as we all know, physically we have a name, right? That people actually ascribe to us. Like, okay, I'm Cindy. Everyone knows I'm Cindy offline. So the same way you have an identity offline, is the same way you have an identity on the internet. So it's actually very tricky, really, when it comes to digital identity because sometimes the information out there about you might not exactly be true, but you have a role to play in ensuring that you protect this identity because I mean we are in the age where internet is very important. Employees go online to verify who you are, to check information about you, see what you do, what you've been up to. It's part of background checks that some organizations actually carry out. So we need to ensure that we protect this digital identity. So that's what I'll be talking about today. So really, I like to make my presentation very short, so I don't really overload my listeners with a lot of information. So what's this digital identity we're talking about? So any information about you that exists online is the identity. I don't know how many of you have actually gone as far as okay, if you're on Facebook, if you use the internet always, I know we have things here, but I'm sure we have some people on Facebook, on Twitter. I mean, just go online and type your name and see what the internet has about you. So whatever you see on the internet that has your name on it, that's actually ascribed to you by Google or whichever search engine you use, that is your digital identity. Your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, what you post, every single thing about you, it's what people on the internet knows about you. It is what you show people. So it is what they actually know about you. So that makes it your digital identity. So regardless of who you are in reality, nobody cares at this time because I don't know you in real life. I don't know you. Okay. I googled Simbiat Sadiq. Oh, okay. She's a cybersecurity professional. Okay, this is who she is. That is that. What she is outside of the internet, I'm not sure. But then you have to ensure that this information does not give you a bad reputation. So that digital identity is very, very important. So now let's talk about the importance of digital identity. So basically, it tells people who you are. Like I said, I don't know you in reality. I'm meeting you on the internet. So whatever I see on the internet actually shows me who you are. If I see you're commenting, you put you post insults, you bully people on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'll assume you're a bully because that is what you show. That is what I can see about you. That's the identity I have about you on the internet, right? So it tells people who you are. And then it can also showcase your ability and creativity. So the internet is actually a very, very interesting place because you see people getting jobs online, see people able to sell their creativity, what they've done, things they do online. Now that's because they've created this identity about them. Like, okay, right, for example, I remember I got a job via Twitter I've gotten some speaking gigs via Twitter. That's because I've created this identity about which ascribes cybersecurity or information security to who I am. So it brings people that are interested in cybersecurity and say, oh, okay, there's this person Simbiat on Twitter. Okay, she's interested in cybersecurity. This is what she does. So it showcases your ability and creativity. So now it's now up to you to say, okay, what do I want to show to the world online? What I do? Do I want to tell people I'm a blogger? Do I want to tell people I sell shirts? Or do I want to tell people I sell drinks? What you do? And then from there you can actually get a lot of connection. You meet people, you get jobs, and that it can also diminish your career. As interesting as the internet is, one of the downside is it's the information you have out there most times actually stays there. With the advent of screenshots and what have you, you post some things on Twitter, you delete them, and before you know, someone else is coming up to say, "Oh, is this you? You said this." So I have a very short story. I remember somebody lost a job because of what she posted on Twitter. Yes, it's it's an identity. Like regardless, forget the fact that it's the internet and you think, I mean, I can just sit behind the screen and just type what I like and say what I like. But no, people are watching, people are looking at you, people are trying to see what you are showcasing. So if you're not careful with kind of things you post online, it can diminish your career, you can lose a scholarship, you can lose a job, you can lose friends, you can lose loved ones, people can start to see you like as a bad person. And I mean it's not really, really good for you. So that's why you need to really, really, really be focused on what is there on the internet, what you're putting there on the internet. So now, how can you protect your digital identity, which is like our major talk for today? The first way is for you to actually use a strong password. One thing about the internet is you might actually have an information out there that's not been posted by you. For example, if your Facebook was hacked, and somebody had access to your, so I don't like to use the word hack really, somebody had access to your Facebook, and the person now start posting stuff like about on the like on your feed, things usually you don't post. It's going to be part of your identity because regardless it's coming from you. I mean, I have probably have a Facebook account Simbiat Sadiq, and then I just wake up one day and I start posting, not me really, somebody gets access to my account and start posting some, very, very shady things on Facebook, insults, bullying. It's going to be very, very bad for identity. So you need to ensure you use like a very strong password for your mobile phones, your Facebook, your social media in general, really, all your applications, to ensure that it doesn't your social media applications, which actually builds your digital identity, your internet, the internet you use, which actually builds your digital identity, it doesn't get into wrong hands. Now, what's a strong password? Really, it should be less than 8 characters. It must contain like your uppercase, your lowercase, your numbers, and special characters. Special characters like and, at, underscore, semicolon, or what have you. And mind you, the fact that I said 8 characters doesn't mean you use the word book or is my book as a password, because there's something we call dictionary word. So any words that can actually see like on the dictionary, it's easy for you to actually boot force them, which means it's easy for people to get access to your accounts, your social media accounts, your internet, just by carrying out some brute force. So you need to ensure that you don't use like an English word, words on the dictionary. So you have to mix like your word, your characters, your lowercase, your numbers. But very key note is don't use a dictionary word, which means any word that you actually have a dictionary, ensure you don't use it. So that's one. Ensure you use strong password. Then two, change your profile or account default settings. So I don't know how many of you use Facebook or Twitter. Okay, personally, I've not been on Facebook for a very long time, but I'm aware that normally when you create this account, it comes with a default setting. For example, Facebook gives you this opportunity to set your privacy to some certain people. For example, you don't want people outside your friends be able to see your posts or your pictures or what you share, you can have that settings. You don't want people to find you like using your mobile number or your email address. You can have those settings in place. You need to ensure that you don't just create an account and just leave like a default setting. Personally, what I do is when I create accounts, new accounts, social media accounts, I just look for like a settings tab, go to privacy, security, and just explore and see which fits my post. Okay, do I want everybody to have access to me, to what I post? Yes, okay, that's fine. Okay, I leave my account open to everyone. Okay, do I want just my cycle, just people in my friend list to be able to see what I post? Yes, then I put that setting in place. Okay, my Twitter, do I want everybody to be able to retweet my tweets? I mean, retweet means your tweet actually goes viral, right? Like it gives your post more visibility. So if I don't want a lot of people to actually be able to see my tweet, which means I just want to limit it to just people that follow me, I disable my retweet button. These are like this thing sounds very small, right? It sounds very little, something like I mean creating a strong password, right? But it's very, very key in protecting your digital identity. Like for example, I mean, like I said earlier, you don't want people to have access to your social media accounts and post things on your behalf, which might actually dent your image in the future. And for default settings, probably don't want everyone to be able to find you, right? You don't want people to find you via your phone number. So because I have my phone number doesn't mean I want you on my Facebook, right? So just disable that. Okay, I don't want you to be able to add me my phone number. So this is another thing you can do to protect your digital identity. Then be wary of what you post online. So I found this very, very interesting questions that you have to ask yourself before you post anything online. And the first question is, can this information be used to locate or identify me offline? So before you post anything, ask yourself, okay, do I want to be found offline? For example, you are posting a picture saying, oh, we are in social hotel, we are lodging in social hotel. Do I want people to know I'm in this hotel? Do I want people to know I'm in this location? I went to the beach. Do I want people to know I'm here? If no, then you don't have to post it. Okay, you want people to know you're in the beach, fine, you can post it, but you have to be very careful because I remember a story where somebody was actually tracked down to the airport just because she took a picture saying she's at the airport, she's going to a particular location, and she was tracked down by a stalker. So do you want people to locate you with this information offline? If you do not want people to locate you, then do not post it. So another thing you have to ask yourself is, can this information make it easier for someone to cyberbully me, hack my account, or steal my identity? Okay, before you post anything online, you should ask yourself, okay, this information I'm about to post, I'm about to talk about my family. I'm about to talk about something very sensitive about myself. Okay, which means people can actually use it against me, can use to bully me. Like if I post something about, oh, I think I'm not beautiful, I think I have this, I think I have that. It means if you have like bullies online, they're actually following you or and your contacts, they can actually use it to bully you. Or you're posting information about where you work or what you do, your student identity card, you take a picture of it and post it on Facebook. Okay, it means somebody can take a picture or a screenshot of or save rather the image and steal your identity. So do you really want this to happen? I'm sure you don't. So when you ask yourself this question and you figure out that no, I don't want people to bully me. I don't put to hack into my account based on the information I'm going to post, right? And I don't put to steal my identity. You do not post this information. Now, another key thing is, would you want this information to show up in a search engine when you search your name? Like I said, me personally, let's say like at least 3, 4 times in a year, I go on Google and search for my name and see what have I posted online that comes up for me. Like okay, sometimes I post things on Twitter and then I search my name, I see, oh, Simbiat posted this on Twitter. I'm like, okay, no, but like you have to be sure that this information you want it to show up on the search engine. If it shows up, will it build your career? Will it show something like really good about you? Is it going to diminish your career? Is it going to stop you from getting that scholarship, from getting that job, from getting that very good work you really want? If not, then do not post it online. You have to be very, very careful because, like I said, these things are very, very sensitive. Sometimes You might just post them out of anger or probably what you're feeling at the moment, and then it just comes up your name. And when you search your name, search for yourself, you just figure out that, oh my god, this thing is there, and I posted like in 2010. What is it doing there? That's why you have to be very careful about things like this. So now there's this thing where they say, is this something I wouldn't want my grandmother or teacher to see? So I know we are always scared of our grandmother and our teachers. So before you post anything online, ask yourself, my teachers, do I want my teacher to see this? If you have to block your teacher, right, to post something, I have to block your grandmother to post something online, it means you're doing something wrong. You shouldn't post that, right? You shouldn't be posting that because it means it's very, very wrong. And you posting, regardless of whether you block your grandmother or your teacher, your Facebook, your Twitter. I mean, search engine will always pick this up, which means if I look you up on the internet, I mean, the result actually comes up for your name. So, another thing, right, is this information about to post online? Is this something someone can use against you? Like sometimes we just post things online, like I mean, the heat of the moment or what we're feeling, I'll just post it online, and then years after, we have people referring back to it, say, oh, you said this, you did this, I remember you were this. For example, your health information, you're posting about your health information on your Facebook. I mean, you shouldn't really be doing that because when you look at it in a couple of years' time, you don't want people to start referring to how sick you were some years ago, how you're in a bad place, and some people actually need to bully you. And I mean, you really wouldn't want that. So you have to be very careful not to post this kind of information. Now, information you put online sometimes can actually help people guess your password. For example, if you're using your, well, it's not advisable, but some people actually go as use their cat's name, like their pet's name. I mean, there's some things when you try to do social engineering, which is like gathering information about people, right? You go online to see what they like. Oh, you like cats, okay? Your pet's name is cat. So which means if I try to probably get access to your account, and one of your security question is, what is your favorite pet? Does that means you're going to be using a cat because it's your favorite pet? Well, there's a possibility. But I mean, because you innocently went online, right, and post, oh my God, I love cats. I love this breed of cats. I do this, I do that, and it could actually open you to some security risk, which means people could actually guess your password. Well, maybe, maybe not. So, and then you ask yourself again, would this give a wrong impression about me? Like I said, I think the very interesting about the internet is the kind of impression you want to build, right? Your digital identity is very important. And if you are going to post something that's going to give like a very wrong impression about you, you shouldn't post that. You should use the internet like your advantage to build like a very good reputation. So your digital identity is supposed to give like a very good impression about you. So before you post anything, before you post that comment on post picture, I mean, if you post something very insulting or a comment on a friend's post that feels like a bully, that sounds like you're trying to bully the person. I mean, gives that impression that you're a bully, and I'm sure you really don't want that. So you shouldn't you know give wrong impression about you on the internet because it builds up like your digital identity builds up based on what you do, what you are doing on the internet. So yeah. So again, you ask yourself, is it going to be a problem if I can't take this information back? Like, okay, I want to post an information about my health status, right? But then I'm going to think about, okay, in 10 years' time, do I want this information to be out there? Do I still want people to know I was ill, I had this element, I was sick, I was in the hospital, I had this condition? Would I want to take this information back from the internet? Do I want to delete this post like after like 30 minutes or 1 hour or 2 days? Well, most likely your health information you might want to. So, but then people save um people screenshots, right? People have screenshots. People um have screenshots on their phone. They save these things, and I mean, you really can't take it back sometimes. And when search engine actually crawls these things and gets this information about you, it takes like a very long time for you to actually be able to delete this content from, the internet. So which actually pins it down to your name. So like overall, you just have to be very careful about what you post online, really, because it builds up your identity. It builds up the impression people have about you. It builds up what people see about you. It builds up, how you want to be known, how you want to be seen online. And yes, so next, like I said, you have to look yourself up really. Try as much as possible. If you're on the internet, you have a Facebook, have a Twitter, to just search up your name and see, okay, what does Google have about me? What information have I posted on Facebook that's been actually ascribed to me on Google? Because really, at times you just innocently post something on Facebook, on Twitter, and then you search your name and you just see Simbiat Sadiq says this. And man, you did some information your school is going to see. You're about to get a scholarship, and okay, they type like a lookup on your name. This is like the same kind of information, right? That these people are going to. So it's better for you to have like a heads up on what is out there and to know what can be done. Okay, maybe like a blog picked up something about you that I posted like some time ago. You might actually want to reach out to them to say, oh, please, can you remove this? This is like a long time ago. There's some process to this thing, but you just have to know that, okay, this information is out there about you, and then you have to know the right step to take. But first, you have to know what is there about you, right? So, very important. Now, like I said, so the problem with the internet is nothing is temporary. So, which means if you're going to post anything on the internet, your Facebook, your Twitter, just have it at the back of your mind that this is not temporary. You can't just think, you can just wish it away. You just post and like after 30 minutes you delete and think it's gone. It might not really be gone, really. Yeah, really, it might not really be gone. People have screenshots. The Google have might probably have crawled this and you have it like ascribed to your name already. So you have to be very careful about what you post on the internet. And you have to understand that your digital identity is like your footprint. You see the way you walk on the road, maybe like on the sand, and you see like a footprint that leads to you, like, oh, this person is going this way. That's exactly how digital identity is. It's like a footprint, your footprint on the web. Like it shows you, like you're dropping like a mark that describes you, that gives like this impression about you. So you have to ensure that you protect it. Be very worried about what you post online, your passwords, very key. It has to be strong so you don't get like random people having access to your internet or your social media, right? Um, yes, that is it. So key takeaway here is really be sure you don't give like a wrong impression about yourself on the internet. You don't want to lose that scholarship. You don't want to lose that job. You don't want to lose those friends. I don't want to give like a very wrong impression about you on the internet. Yes, you can contact me. My Twitter account. I'm on LinkedIn. So I'll be happy to answer your questions. If you have any, you can reach out to me. And yes, that's all. I think I still have time to take questions, right? Okay, I can take my questions, right?
Yeah, thanks, Simbiat.
All
Okay,
right.
sorry. Um, okay, all right. So we've got a few questions here. I'm just going to run through a couple of them and maybe save the rest for like a blog. Um, Someone asked about sending private messages between friends. Now, and they're asking whether these can necessarily be exploited to be used against you as well. What's your advice for that?
Okay, well, that's really tricky, right? Yes, you have to be very careful as long as it's social media, right? You have to be very careful when you have like conversation with friends because sometimes you end up discussing like very sensitive information, like end up like making some very sensitive jokes, and in the future somebody's going to take like a screenshot, right, and post and said, "Oh, you said this some time ago." But I mean, they are friends, right? But as much as you have to trust them, like you have to trust them, right, to think they won't do this, but you have to be like see it as do I want this information to be out there? Like what kind of conversation, like I mean it's with our friends, right? We can always like chat, have like a chit chat, but when it comes to like very sensitive issues you have to be very careful about the kind of response you give, because like I said, it's very very tricky. What if your friend's social media has been hacked, has been compromised, and somebody gets hold of your chats and take a screenshot or something? So yeah, so it's well, it's a yin yang thing. So you have to be very careful about that as well.
Okay, thank you very much. And then one other question, which I think is kind of interesting that might be worth asking here, is what advice do you give to girls/women about pictures that their partners or boyfriends or others may have with them that they may retain after relationships are over? So a bit more of a sensitive topic, but I thought it was probably worth talking about for a second.
Yeah, I think that's really sensitive, really, because most times you're in a relationship. I mean, moments are all good, and but really because you never can tell, right? You just have to be sure that you don't have some very very sensitive pictures. But then this is happening, and you must still have control over them. But you have to be sure you trust your partner enough to not, your boyfriend enough to not, want to go post that pictures or whatever or videos on the internet. But you shouldn't make these videos or pictures in the first place, really. Just assume they might want to post it on the internet or might want to share with friends when it comes to pictures, and well, you just have to be careful. Basically, there's no there's no direct or straight response to that, really.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. I think we'll save the rest of the questions for the blog. But I really do appreciate you joining us today, Simbiat. That was wonderful. Thank you very much.